that DiJonai Carrington had circled on her calendar and wanted the world to see happen tonight. And how did it turn out? Caitlin Clark had 37 points, 10 assists, 8 threes, and we got this lovely reaction. But I want to point out something that happened in the game. Some of the Chicago Sky, including DiJonai Carrington, to me, were looking for a fight this game. And Caitlin, instead of talking about it in the media, just did it with her basketball skills. And this is one of the plays that happened. So DiJonai purposely runs into Clark, and then Clark just waves her off. You can tell that Clark was just over that storyline and with that rivalry.
Look at Caitlin Clark's arm. Over her last 12 quarters, she has attempted just 8 free throws that weren't the result of technical fouls. It almost seems like she can't catch a break. Fresh footage from the Fever's victory over the Chicago Sky has been circulating online, but this time, it's not about a flashy crossover, a deep three from the logo, or a spectacular assist. Instead, the footage draws attention to Clark's forearm, which appears to be covered with fingernail-like scratches. The marks look consistent with the kind of contact that can happen when a defender grabs, claws, or holds onto a player while desperately trying to stay in front of them.
Took the ref 30 business days to call this foul on Caitlin Clark. But of course they want to demonize Clark and be like, she was overreacting. She's the most fouled player in the league. What are we doing? Why was the whistle not blown right here? Grabbing her, blow the fucking whistle, man. And then she had to do all this again to finally put her hand up. Like, what are we doing, man? Enrique's ugly ass falling down all over the place, foul call. You look at Asia Wilson, foul call, but it takes the ref looking direct. Look, why is her hand not up? Takes the ref 30 business days to call this. But let's demonize Clark. No, all these players fear Caitlin Clark. They fear for their lives when this woman is on the court and they have to hack her, tackle her. Odyssey Sims tackle Clark in this game and everything because she's the 11th best guard and we're going to guard her this way though. Like, you guys are fucking ridiculous, man. It's like the refs just want Clark to get beat up and hacked. These people just want her to just play through it. And it's like, it's not part of the game to get fouled and have to play through it, man.
And this is the part that should genuinely make people uncomfortable when they watch the footage again. Almost none of that contact was actually called. Possession after possession, defenders appear to be all over Clark, pulling at her jersey, grabbing her arms, and leaving marks with their fingernails, yet the whistle remains silent. IT wasn't just one heated play or an isolated moment of physical basketball. This has become a recurring pattern that has been developing for weeks, right in front of everyone. And the tweet that sparked this entire discussion captured the situation in the harshest possible way.
To show you 10 missed calls last game. That Caitlin Clark got fouled and the ref never called it. There's a moving screen. She's moving all over the place. Hits her with the shoulder like always. Look at this. Fouls her, holding her, and fouls the crap out of her. No foul. Look at this. She got fouled the whole game. They didn't call this a foul. Look at this one. Like, her body's all over. How is that not a foul? Look at this one. Cardosa swipes her once, twice, just tries to grab her. Can you imagine being fouled the entire game? Every time you hit half court, every time you dribble, every time you drive. Look at this. Sheldon clearly has her hand on Caitlin Clark's shoulder when she's shooting it. They even showed a replay. It's exactly where I thought it was. Watch this. Her arm is on Caitlin Clark's shoulder the whole time.
Caitlin Clark has attempted only 8 non-technical free throws across her last 12 quarters of action. 8. That's 12 complete quarters of basketball. And no, that isn't a typo or a number that can simply be dismissed because of a limited sample size. That's essentially 3 full games in which one of the league's most heavily defended and physically challenged guards has barely been given opportunities at the free throw line.
This WNBA player to be suspended after she intentionally pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. You can see here, she misses the ball with an open palm and then hones it into this little sharp, pointy hand and jabs it right into her eyeball. One more time. right in the eye. And believe it or not, she didn't even get a foul for this. It was so intense as well that as the game progressed, you could tell she was getting a black eye just from the hit. There is no doubt in my mind that what this WNBA player did was 100% intentional, and honestly, I think she should have a huge suspension as well.
Take a moment to consider what that statistic really represents, because it's easy to see a number like that and simply move on. Free throws are awarded when officials determine that physical contact has crossed the boundary into an illegal ACT. SO when a player who regularly takes hard contact, gets grabbed, and gets knocked around is reaching the line only a few times over 12 consecutive quarters. It's difficult to argue that she has suddenly stopped drawing fouls. Instead, it raises the impression that the whistle has become noticeably quieter when Clark is involved. Even as the defensive pressure against her appears to be increasing, the more aggressively opponents defend her, the less frequently she seems to receive the protection that free throws are supposed to provide. That's almost the opposite of what you would expect from consistent officiating in a competitive sport.
This wasn't called a foul. This wasn't called a flagrant foul. There was no whistle blown on this play. This play never went under review. This play has absolutely nothing to do with basketball. As you can see, the ball is all the way over there. This is just someone getting mauled. The WNBA is stupid and is not a serious organization.
Because if we're being honest about what appears to be happening on the court week after week, the situation is becoming difficult to ignore. When defenders can't stay in front of Clark, can't contain her off the dribble, and struggle to challenge her without committing obvious fouls, the physicality seems to escalate. If subtle contact can go unnoticed, and an outright tackle is far too obvious for officials to overlook, the smaller forms of contact become easier to hide. A grab here, a scratch there, something minor enough to escape the whistle but noticeable enough when the replay is examined later. At that point, it raises questions about whether this is simply aggressive defense or something more concerning. The repeated physical contact can create the impression of an effort to wear Clark down, frustrate her, disrupt her rhythm, or potentially leave her dealing with enough physical punishment that it affects her ability to perform at the level she has been bringing against opponents night after night. And this is precisely why the free throw statistic matters so much. It's not merely some random number being circulated online for attention or engagement. IT connects directly to what appears to be happening on the court. When you look at the hard fouls, physical contact away from the ball, grabs, and plays that seem to go uncalled, Clark appears to be absorbing an extraordinary amount of punishment while receiving relatively little protection from the officials. There are moments when the contact looks obvious enough that a neutral viewer might expect an immediate whistle, yet Clark simply gets back up, runs down the court, and prepares for the next possession as if nothing happened. That level of toughness and resilience can easily get overlooked because the conversation surrounding Clark is often dominated by the controversy itself. But repeatedly absorbing that kind of physical pressure without the whistle coming can take a serious toll over time. Clark has faced repeated physical contact, including grabs and hard fouls, yet often receives little protection from officials. Despite that, she continues attacking aggressively and producing historic numbers, including 5 30-point, 10-assist games, more than the rest of WNBA history combined. The contrast between her limited free throw opportunities and record-setting production raises legitimate questions about officiating consistency. While not every hard foul suggests